It's dark because I was hoping the sun would be out today and give us more light. There's our service panel. That's the bathroom over there where the insulation is. So I'm going to have the service panel right there, and I have outlets, an outlet, or receptacle, and there's going to be a dual light switch there, one for a light here, wall light, and then one for an outside light, porch light, is going to go in that box. So we come over to the kitchen and decided all I needed in the kitchen, I've got the double there, I'm going to put a switch and a receptacle there. That's all we're going to need. Because we're going to have like a counter on this side, fold down counter, where we'll plug stuff in. This side is simply going to be the sink and cabinetry. So there isn't a need for, we don't need any electric on that wall. And this switch is going to control 3 recessed lights is what I'm going to do. 2 over the counter where we'll kind of eat, that'll be our table. And then 1 over the sink. So that's all the kitchen is going to need for electric. In the bathroom area, there's just going to be, I got that double there, a switch and a receptacle. I don't know why the receptacle, but why not? And there'll be 1 recessed light up there. That's the layout. That's all the electric I need. And I'm hoping I have enough 14-2 wire. I think that was 250 feet, something like that. And I used some of it, but not a lot. But yeah, that's what we're doing. So I'll get back to you. I'm going to start drilling holes now, so I can start running wire. But I've got the circuits laid out where I want them and what I'm going to need. So we'll be back. there's plenty of that pulled through. Don't want it too tight. So what I've got to do now is where these receptacle boxes are, the wire is going to connect to one side of the receptacle, and another wire for it to continue on is going to connect to the other side. So what I've got to do is bring a loop down to each one of these where I can cut it and wire the receptacles together. So that's the next part. Getting enough to where I can loop down to those. Pull this through until I have enough where I can cut this right here and feed this through. So let me get my lineman pliers. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this wire right here. I'm going to feed a piece through this side, the lead edge. So now I'll be able to hook this up to the receptacle, this up to the receptacle, and the current will pass through them. That could have hurt, but always leave yourself enough wire. Overestimate what you're going to need. The little sawhorses, do my other loop. See if I can zoom in a little bit on this one. And I got my tabs. Alright. Get enough of a loop. Pull a little bit more through here. Okay, that's plenty. So, what I'll do, cut this one right here. This first one, right through, first hole. This is like my lead edge. Bring it through. This one is going to come across here. I'm going to staple these up against the studs where they travel down. Bring that one through. Like so. That's ready for a receptacle. Put the door lock and knob on and explain a couple things to you. Now, before I show you around, you have to remember, I am not an electrician. I do not have codes to go by out here. I merely have to make sure that I'm doing a safe job and that my cabin is not going to burn down. That's all I'm worried about. And as long as I feel confident in that, I'm happy. So, let me put my lock set on so that it looks better. It looks kind of bad when we pull up and we see the emptied holes in the door with a stick poking through it to keep it closed. So, I'll go ahead and put these on. Surprise Gail, make her happy because she's been complaining about it. Alright, as you can see, I got the lock sets on and they both work. And Gail is happy. I sent her a picture. Let me show you what I did here. Again, I am not a professional. I'm very lucky I have Gail to clean up after me because it made quite a mess in here, but in her usual way, she did an excellent job. So what I've got for this video, you saw me using that right angle attachment to drill the holes. I thought I had a good 3/4 inch bit. I didn't. I had a good 5/8 bit. So that's what I wound up using, was 5/8 holes, but like I said, I'm not running too many wires through a hole, so it wasn't that critical. But what I've got here in the living area, what is going to come out of the bottom of the service panel, going to 1, 2, 3, 4 receptacles, a double light switch that is going to control one light, one wall lamp up there, and a porch light. So that is right there when we walk in the door, if it's dark. So that took care of that, and you notice that's 14 tube wire, that's the white stuff. It's only 15 amp is all I need for that. Now I have another 15 amp service coming out again of the bottom of the service panel and goes directly over to the bathroom. There will be, I got a double box there. There will be a receptacle and a switch for an overhead light. So that is all wired. We just have to get the fixture for the recessed light. Then I can set it and run the wiring in and be done with it. And the switch. Then, coming out of the top of the box is some 12 gauge, 12-2 wire. That's the yellow stuff. That is going to the kitchen. And I'm 20 amp service is required by code for kitchens and such. Even though I don't have code out here, but I did it anyway. But that runs up, it's going to run along that joist, come down, and there's going to be, in this double box, there's going to be a switch and a receptacle, and then it'll run over to a receptacle in that box. That's all the kitchen is going to have as far as receptacles go. Now, there's not a lot of load in this cabin, but the switch is going to go back up, and up here, this is going to be our eating. I'm going to have a fold down counter with bar stools, which is where we'll eat. There'll be a couple of recessed lights up there, and then coming down here will be a recessed light over the sink. And the cabinets are going to be over on this wall. There's going to be shelves and cabinets over on this wall, hanging things over there. The Gale hangs, and the sink is going to run across here. So that's all that's needed for electric. We talked about it. We don't need anything up in the loft. That is primarily going to be storage. And as I'm thinking right now, I'm not going to put anything up there. If I need a light, we'll get one of them push button lights, but I don't even see that being a necessity because we're really not going to be using it much. I will probably run off of that bathroom. I'll run up a receptacle with a box. We can put a lamp up there maybe and plug in a cell phone, but that's all I'm going to do up there. But that's it. Now, I looked at lunchtime at my comments on yesterday's video, and one of the people who viewed it was Larry Bueller. Bueller? I bet he's never heard that. He said, wouldn't it be nice if that other 20 amp circuit was dedicated to a window air unit, window air conditioner. And I'm like, how perfect an idea was that? So he was absolutely right. What you see is another yellow wire that's the 12-2 wire going to a 20 amp breaker that's going to go up in the bottom of the service panel, and that runs over to a single receptacle. And that's going to be for an air conditioner that I can either put in that window, or Gary had mentioned building a spot in the wall and just putting an air conditioner there. So it will have its own 20 amp circuit and its own receptacle. So that was a really good idea. But that's been it. I got all this part of it done. I'm gonna, in the next video, I will be wiring in all of the receptacles and the switches and try to show you how I do that. It is very difficult to do this stuff and video at the same time. So you get a little video of me running wire, because you know I actually ran the wire, drilling some holes, you know, and pulling some wire through. So these boxes, by the way, I forgot to videotape putting up any of these boxes. They're just plastic, they're real handy. They got little nubs here. More than likely we're going to go with drywall in here because it's cheap, it's quick, and it's easy. These nubs hold it out. You put that up against the stud, hold it out a ½ inch for the drywall, and there are 2 nails, one right there and one down here, and you get that thing in place and you just nail it down and nail it on there, and there is your very secure box. All of the receptacles and all the switches are that way. So that's a very easy way to do it. I needed no junction boxes or anything. But yeah, I feel that mess of wires will get cleaned up as I run all of the different lights and everything and the switches. I got plenty hanging out of each one to where I can wire all of my devices in. And then we can start insulating. There's no power on the outside walls over there. So that will next weekend. The bathroom and the kitchen, that wall and this wall will all be insulated. And in fact, we can insulate it all now. Then I'm excited about that. Now up here, I'm going to be running my collar ties, they call them, running a board across there so that I have like a chase, a flat area on top of the roof. It doesn't go up to like a cathedral type ceiling. It'll go flat across, down about 6 or 8 inches maybe. And there will be a vent put in that wall and a vent put in that wall up above that chase that I'll have running down through there. That will ventilate the attic behind the insulation and everything. And we're going to put a window in there. I'm buying another window for the loft. We're putting another window in the bathroom. We're going to put another window there. And that should be, we're going to put a window there. So we've decided to go with a bunch of windows after all. I was worried about it, but again, these windows are small enough that I don't think people are going to want to break them and try to crawl in them because they are very small. So that's it. Let me show you how my door works. It's not quite completely set yet, but you know what? I can close it and I can lock it. And that's what's important. I'll show you real quick around. The problem with coming out here and working for the day, one of the things I hate about it is when I get home, all of that has to be unloaded and put in the shed or in the house because, again, I can leave nothing out here. I don't want it to get stolen. So it's carry it all out here, load it up, this morning, carry it all out here, load it up again, take it all back home, unload it, back into the house or into the shed. I would really like, I think, to find a cheap, good, enclosed trailer or a van. I wouldn't mind, like an 80s model E150 or something, nothing big. Just a van that I could pull the trailer with if I needed to. But I could leave all of my tools and stuff inside the van to transport back and forth. So in case anybody wants to donate me a van, I'll be happy with a 80s model E150 or Chevy or whatever. If it'll pass a West Virginia inspection, I'll take it. Or a trailer. But yeah, this is it. We didn't have to mow today because we were out here Monday. This is Saturday, June 2nd. And I told you, once the weather breaks, if we can get some decent weather, I will be back on this cabin. And that's what we're doing. I'll have everything ready. Everything next weekend it'll be insulated and all the wiring done and run into the service panel. And I'm going to put the switch on for the generator. And I'll have power inside the cabin then. Generator power. And then I can start working on the solar end of it. Not much. I don't need much to power that little cabin. But it's come together. I think it all looks nice out here. Next weekend, obviously, we'll have to mow again. But we got in some trigger time. I don't want to show any video of that because, that's bad stuff. You're not allowed to do that kind of stuff, but we got a lot of trigger time in, in between the wiring. You got to have fun. But I'm heading back in. This is Joe out here at the cabin at St. Bernard Acres. Hope you liked this video. And stay tuned for the next one, where I'll be wiring all my receptacles and switches in. And hopefully light fixtures. If I can find the right light fixtures at Lowe's this week, next weekend I'll be putting all those in. So, like, share, comment, blah blah, subscribe, all those things that you're supposed to do that I keep forgetting to say because I get yelled at by the hardcore YouTubers. Oh, you gotta say that in every video. Like, alright, whatever. But it's beautiful out here. Oh my god, I hate to leave. You know, when I came out this morning, it was so foggy and humid and soupy, and it was supposed to start raining at 2 o'clock. So Gary and I, you know, we were going to spend the weekend out here. He called, or I called him. I said, look, dude, it's going to rain tonight, and it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow. So, you know, I'm not afraid of camping in the rain. And we could work inside if we needed to, but you know, there's nothing to do out here, you know, when it's raining. So we kind of blew it off, and would you look at how this day turned out? This is a perfect evening. Gary, I'm sorry, we should have been out here cooking some food, enjoying this. But we'll get another chance. Anyway, this is Joe out at the cabin here at St. Bernard Acres. I'm out.